What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
All right. What is it? Friday night? Friday night already? What happened? Hope everybody had a good week. It is Radio Baloney Live Friday night. I am your host, Richie Baloney. How's everybody doing? Wow. We got lots of chat going on already. Okay, this is good news. Also, I'd like to announce we have a newest member of our Radio Baloney Best People in the World Club. Spambot Fodder is now a member of the channel, and that means Spambot gets the best person in the world at Clip. That's right. Spambot Fodder is now officially the best person ever, until the next person who becomes a monthly supporter as well. Thank you very much, Spambot. That's awesome. Thank you. The support really actually is, I mean, even just psychologically for me, it's so good. You know, it's like, it's such an excellent thing, and it makes me so happy. Just like Rosie, who is also a member. Hey, Rosie, how you doing? All right, so who we got in here? We got Spambot Fodder. We got Radio Streamer. We got Jesse's in the house. We got Izzy in the house. We got Rosie. Hey, hope everybody's had a great week, and it's good to see you guys. All right, let's go through the menu quickly. Then we'll do a quick run through of the chat after. All right, first off, have you guys seen this? Adam Kinzinger is so clever calling Elon Musk President Musk and Donald Trump Vice President Musk. So this is their new thing. It's President Musk. This is the new thing they're going with, is that Elon Musk is really the president. We will talk about that. And we'll also take a look at the guy they didn't really criticize for not being in control at all. In fact, they didn't at all criticize him for not being in control. I wonder why. Seemed like he really genuinely was incapable of it, Joe Biden. But anyway, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about there's a looming Canadian election. It's not been called yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Trudeau is just dumb. Of course, we've got some Trutards out there saying, doing the usual. But there's a Canadian election is going to be coming, and it looks very unlikely that it won't happen before October of next year. It's not going to be tomorrow. Probably maybe in the spring. We'll see, but we'll go through all of that. Things have changed a little bit in Canada. We've got some stuff from Pierre Poilievre. He's really been knocking it out of the park lately. Really at the perfect moment. I mean, he's really seized the moment of Trudeau's just unbelievable failure and incompetence, and is really putting himself out as an adult, as an actual grown man who takes things seriously and can get things done. So this is all very good news. We'll spend some time on this Canadian stuff. Here's Tom Homan talking about the U.S.-Canadian border. That's all related to the Trump tariff threat. We've got a woke medical association that's scrubbing its DEI info from its website. After a brutal report, the world is starting to heal. I think they're just hiding it here. I don't think they have any intention of changing anything, but took a little bit of a look into this report, and we'll get into that. You got a Quebec man who identifies as trans after he was arrested and found guilty of murdering his wife and children. So now he identifies as a trans woman after that. So I guess just the safest place to put him would be a woman's prison, right? Lunacy, we will talk about that. We'll go into what the rules are in Canada around that. And of course, they're totally fucking batshit crazy because of Trudeau. Of course, we got a Christmas attack in Germany. I thought we'd take a look at what's been going on there in terms of the terrorism attacks recently. So we'll go through that a little bit. The Trump team has filed an amicus brief. We might have to fact check. What is exactly an amicus brief? We'll have to check that up. And but he's filing an amicus brief to support Texas, Missouri suit to block Biden from selling border wall materials. It's so brazen. Like nobody said. I guess everybody in his administration, everybody who has influence over him, wants him to do that. I mean, it seems like it's so far beyond insane. Like it's so far beyond corrupt or petty or spite or whatever it is. The only way that you could even consider doing something like that, selling off the border wall materials before Trump gets in, knowing that he's going to use those to build a wall, the only way is if you've got a compliant media that will cover for you. That's it. You wouldn't even consider otherwise. That's the media's role now, to make things like this possible. Let's see, what do we got here? Staffer for California Dem City Council candidate charged with acting as agent for the CCP. We've had a lot of that in Canada as well. Something about leftist governments seems to attract the the foreign agents, the Chinese Communist Party agents for some reason. I don't know what that is. Maybe they just invite them. I mean, So we'll talk again about the New Jersey and the it just keeps going on. What the hell is happening? I don't know. I think it's definitely something to do with the government. That seems fairly obvious, but what exactly is happening? I don't know. We've looked at this before. Let's see what else we got. We're going to go through it. This is the last tab of the evening, the live stream tab. We'll go through this. We got lots of stuff. There's Chloe Cole there, detransitioner. Listen to her story. Look at this. I thought this was interesting because this is AI. Right? They put this giant bill, this continuing resolution bill, through AI, and they managed to get it from that, which was 1,500 pages, I think about 1,500 to 118, I believe. Without AI, nobody would know what's in this. So that's interesting. That's something for the future, and it's a way of getting transparency, which is going to be super interesting. All right. And then tons of stuff in here. Just tons and tons and tons. Look at all this. Oh my God. Victor Davis Hanson. We all love Victor Davis Hanson. He's awesome. I thought we'd take a look at the Cloward Piven strategy, which is a way of trying to destroy your prosperous Western liberal democracy and turn it into a commie hellhole. Let's see. We've got Mayor Eric Adams. He's just going to switch parties, I think. I think we've got that fat activist. Remember last week, San Francisco hired her to tell people to be fat? So there's more about her. Apparently I think you guys actually knew in the chat had heard of this person. I never had. But apparently she's all over the place being fat. She's taking her fat everywhere. Here's a classic from Shane Gillis. We'll take a look at that. Some Trump stuff and just random, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff. Of course, we have the puppy palate cleansers. There we go. Look at that guy. It's hilarious. For when the news gets too heavy, we'll take a look at some puppies, of course. Look at that guy. It just makes you feel good. Of course, we have our cooking shows as well. These are also palate cleansers. When things get a little too frustrating with the news, we'll learn how to cook a sandwich, how to make some noodles, all good stuff. And then there's ones here that are just about fences, for instance. The one's about fences and fixing a knife handle. That's all that's about. And sports and sanding, an instructional sanding video, all that good stuff. And then, of course, we will get to every Friday. And you know what? I'm crossing my fingers. Because I promise that every Friday I will do a Grok versus Trudeau video. Grok being the Twitter, now X AI. And Grok, and it's the only AI that will do this, by the way. Grok has to write a poem about Justin Trudeau. There must be 3 features of the story. He must do blackface. He must get a vaginoplasty operation. And he must be shot out of a giant cannon into the sun. And we make up scenarios around that. I've been doing this every week since, I don't know, like October for about a year now. I've done a lot of these. And I'm getting sick of it, quite frankly. But it looks like I'm not going to have to keep doing them until October. Who knows? Maybe he can cling on for that long, Trudeau. But maybe another, few months and I can stop doing this after he's kicked out. I promised I'd do it until Justin Trudeau was kicked out of office, until he's no longer the leader of Canada. We will get to that later. All right. And then, of course, we will do various fact checks and things, and you guys will bring up all kinds of interesting things in the chat. And that will be super fun for everybody. All right. Let's see what everybody's talking about. Let's see. Spambot is a new member. And one more time. Hold on. One more time. Yes. I'm liking this whole people joining as members of the channel thing. This is fantastic. It's even better than subscribing to the channel. Looks like we're having some spell check problems. And let's see, admiration of their fences. Yeah, we love the fences. We're a fence channel here. In fact, let's go back to our fence video. There we go. It's a hell of a fence. Sturdy. That's the thing I like about that fence. Sturdy. You can climb right up on there. No problem. Totally safe. Hazy says, I sure hope there's a coffee ad. Feeling the need already. I know. I hope so too. Let me see if they're offering many ads up right now. Oh, there's ads. Yes, ads offered up. Is there a no coffee ads so far? And I don't have enough people watching it to read one. So, but we won't do that until after I think we cut off the YouTube portion of the stream. Oh, you know what? Also, so it's got to be kind of a mess the next couple of weeks. So I'll be back Sunday. Might do like a Monday, like a Christmas Eve one. Christmas Eve will not be doing one. I might jump on for an hour or so on Christmas, maybe Boxing Day. We'll be back on Friday for the usual scheduled stream, but then we are going away for a week. So you know what that means. Maybe shows, maybe not. Have no idea. If you're around, take a peek. We'll find out. Anyway, we'll get into that later. Let's see. We got Kirby in the chat. Looks like we got Candle Monkey too. Good to see you guys. All right. Everybody's showing up. Let's see. Kirby says, did I miss the Hart Sellers Act deep dive? I did take a look into that. That changed the immigration laws back in was it the 50s or the 60s? We can go take a look at that if you want. It's where they went from a preference of Europeans to a preference of not Europeans immigration. And I'm sure, I don't know why they did that. Because it's like, if you're like, you can't say that is discriminatory if you're intentionally not getting a particular group of people. Like, either way that is, I mean, you'd have to say any of it is discriminatory, wouldn't you? So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But anyway, let's continue. Let's see. And another thing on that too is you have to remember is that, like, back in the it's not really until now, right about now, that just anybody from Europe is considered the exact same thing. I mean, people back then knew these were very different cultures. They were not all the same thing. Just one European, like an Italian, wasn't the same as a Swede. Like, they were all very different. Right now, you get this weird thing. It's just, from Europe, just, all exact the same thing. Oppressors, blah, blah, blah. Colonists, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's continue. Rosie says, RB, did you get my son's drone? Oh, you know what? I forgot to check the messages. Sometimes I forget to check on X. You know what? I'll take a look when I take my break. I'll check out my phone and see if I can, and I'll add it to a bookmark. Let's see. You know what? I'll do it. Hold on one second. I'll do it right now. Hold on. Can actually do it from right here. Hold on. Let's see. It's super busy today. Oh, there we go. Okay, I see it here. I don't know how I can move it over to a bookmark, though. Let's see. You know, the only problem is, Rosie, I can't really move it over to my bookmarks. So I don't know. Maybe I'll think of something later on. Let's see. We'll try to figure something out for that, maybe for Sunday. Izzy says, yeah, not all white people are the same. Yeah, I mean, just like no any people are the same, right? That's the thing. Leftists get furious when you say that. Let's see. Cobra. Cobra is another member of the channel. Good to see you, Cobra. Well, Cobra makes a great point here. It says, Trugina sucks and more commie hate. Absolutely. All right. Any mention of any Trugina in the chat gets an applause every single time. All right. All right, let's get into the story, shall we? All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up, and let's get into it. All right. Adam from Paul A. Sizpula. Adam Kingsinger is so clever calling Elon Musk, President Musk, and Donald Trump Vice President Trump. You really showed them. Americans don't care about these name games. Nobody does. This is so tired at this point. Let's take a look.
Hanging by a thread.
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank the Lord God that I am not in Congress anymore. I know this game. They always play this like Christmas deadline stupid game. But look.
Hey, you know what? Kingsinger's not crying. So, I mean, he looks a little bit wet underneath the eye. Maybe he just finished crying. I don't know. But he's not crying there, so that's good, right?
President Musk this morning made it clear with all his vast government experience, which is basically he became rich on the federal government, that he doesn't want Republicans to pass this. And seemingly Vice President Trump kind of backed him up then at that point. And what it says about the politics is this is going to be a messy 4 years. The whole debt ceiling thing, Donald Trump is making it clear that he wants the debt.
Okay, so President Elon Musk, who got rich off the federal government, why just him? I mean, if it's that easy, why aren't there like 100 guys, 1,000 people, 10,000 guys with the same amount of money as Elon Musk? I mean, by the way, it's not all, he doesn't have like giant pallets of cash hidden all over it's stock, it's his value, right? He doesn't actually have that in cash. If the stock goes down in value, he doesn't have the money, right? He can't have access to the money. That means his companies have to do well. Also, he's saying he doesn't want subsidies from the government. He's opposed to government subsidies for corporations, but they just have nothing else. They've got absolutely nothing else. And hold on one second. Dramus, Eves, $5. That means you get to join the Best Person Ever Club. Yes. Also, one more time. That's how you appeal to my grade. That's how you appeal to my grade. Here we go. That one goes up on the screen. The 5 I might save with Trugina. Tax relief. There you go. It's a good investment. It's an excellent investment of your money. 100%. Nice work. Very good. Very well done. All right. What was I blabbing about? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so President Elon Musk, this is their new thing, right? Is that that Trump is actually just a puppet of Elon Musk. He's really the president. He's running the show. So strange. I mean, what Trump clearly has is a coalition, although Elon Musk is not actually a politician. He doesn't have a formal part in the government, right? He's still extremely important and helpful, right? He's still extremely useful to Trump. Trump is how anybody could think that Trump isn't calling the shots himself. I mean, whether or not people are lying, like the Pentagon lied to Trump when he was trying to get the troops out of Syria, right? But nobody was telling him what to. Trump was doing what he wanted to. He was making the decisions. You've got advisors. Yes, you've got people in your ear, pissing in your ear all the time, right? And maybe you could be influenced by that. But it's not like, it's not like somebody's just telling him what to do. They're trying to paint Trump as Elon Musk's puppet, and it's just absolutely absurd. And let's remind these people, this is the guy that they said was sharp as a tack and totally in control. There's never any question. No, there was never any speculation, who was behind the curtain running this guy. There was that they had an amazing lack of curiosity about whether this guy was actually making any decisions or if he was even capable of doing it or even retaining information for longer than 10 seconds, if at all.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping, traveling with him. I actually traveled 17,000 miles when I was vice president. I don't know that for a fact. America.
Well, he doesn't know whatever it was he just said for a fact. And I believe him. How about this one? Rita Panahi. What happened here?
You got the vaccination?
Yeah.
Are you okay? I mean, you seem, no, it works. Or or the mom and dad, or the neighbor, or when you go to church, or when you're, I really mean it. There are trusted interlocutors. Think of the people. If your kid wanted to find out whether or not there's a man on the moon or whatever, something, or, whether those aliens are here or not, who are the people they talk to beyond the kids who love talking about it? You got the vaccine?
Okay. This was published, by the way, on in July 2021. She posted this. Not like after the debate. How about this one? This was always a good favorite. Not being able to ride a bike is not a good sign. And that's when he was doing better. That's before he really fell off a cliff. How about here? Wandering off as if lost from the group. Here we go. He has to be pulled back here by that European Union censorship witch, Ursula. Good Lord. Oh, no, it was Maloney that pulled him back. Sorry, it was Maloney. That's right. She was nice to him. And then his face. Come on. Total control. Total control. Oh, how about this one? Well, this was actually really good too. When was this one published? That was this year, but this was, I think 2 or 3 years old. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Yeah, he looked on death's door right there, didn't he? It's actually kind of amazing he made it this long. Let's not forget, this just came out from James O'Keefe, where you had Advisor, Intelligence Programs Directorate, National Security Council saying, well, what was he saying?
Well, here's something. Joe Biden is like dead. He cannibal to say his sentence. He's really progressed in his holding. Everybody recognized. I can't believe it wasn't a bigger scandal at Claire. He'll be dead in a year.
Meet Henry Appel, an advisor.
Said he'll be dead in a year. So absolutely zero curiosity about who was actually running the United States for almost 4 years, right? until the debate, at which point, well, it's just undeniable at that point, right? No curiosity whatsoever, totally in control. It's just, shows the hypocrisy of these lunatics, right? These lunatics. And they the past just disappears. It just evaporates into the ether. Everything they said, everything they've done just evaporates into the ether. And it's just whatever they've been doing, you're doing. President Musk, he says. And this is the new thing, right? This is the new thing. They've all gotten the memo. They've all gotten the memo. Musk is the president. That's our new line. That's the new lie that we sell. That's our new propaganda line. Elon Musk is really the president. It's endless. I don't think that it sells well. I mean, you've got those people who will just always support one side or the other forever, right? Like in Canada, you've still got about 20, 19, maybe 18% of Canadians that would be willing to vote for the Liberals, willing to vote for Justin Trudeau to be prime minister again. It's 1 in 5. That's 1 in 5 Canadians still willing to vote for Trudeau. There's some people that just will go down with the ship. I mean, and the ship being like civilization, right? They want to take it down. They don't care. It's just, this is what I've done. It's what I've always done. This is what my friends think. This is fashionable. I have an aesthetic distaste for what the other thing is. Therefore, forever this. Anyway, so that's just, I know it's retarded, I guess. Let's see. Let's move on. Let's get rid of these two tabs. Let's take a quick look at the chat again before we move on. Let's see what you guys are saying. Rosie says he rode the bike fine. He did manage to keep his balance while he was moving, but he could not dismount. Total confusion. It's not a good sign. Not a good sign. Izzy said, wow, the drugs really wore off there. Let's see. POTUS George Kirby says, wait, Elon is the puppeteer? But they told me Pooty Poot was the puppeteer. Now I don't know what to believe. And let's see. Yeah, I thought it was Putin. Yeah, you're right. It did say it was Putin, but now it's Elon. Maybe I guess Putin is controlling Elon, and then Elon is controlling Trump. Actually, I think I actually did see some crazy dingbat put that out there. Let's see. All right. So what has happened in Canada? All right. So first off, we have to go here. So Jagmeet Singh. So for those of you not in Canada that may be watching, Jagmeet Singh is the leader of the NDP, which is the even more woke and insane far left national party in Canada that's been propping up Justin Trudeau, Justin Trudeau's government. Justin Trudeau has a minority government in Parliament, and in order to and Jagmeet Singh and the NDP have enough votes if he props up Trudeau's party to avoid or to defeat a no confidence motion, which would result in a new election. Now Jagmeet Singh has finally said, no, I won't support the government any longer. I will vote for no confidence to trigger an election, but he did it after Parliament stopped, which means that it won't be happening until an election won't be happening now, unless there's a slight possibility. We'll get to that to a second. There's a slight possibility that it may happen sooner, but we'll get to that in a second. But really, his pension comes up February 25th, Jagmeet Singh's. right? So he waited until the time when it can be delayed until after his pension. So whatever happens, he'll still get his $3.6 million pension, I believe it is. So let's take a look at this letter from Jagmeet Singh. Fellow Canadians, the Canadian dream is a good job that gets you a home and a fridge full of groceries with enough left over to save for vacations. He just sounds like Pierre there. A country where healthcare is always there as soon as you need it. I believe every Canadian deserves that. Well, then why have you been propping up a government that's been destroying that? It doesn't make any sense. The Trudeau Liberals said a lot of the right things. I would disagree, actually. I didn't like any of what they said. Then they let people down again and again while you prevented them from being removed from government, while you prevented Trudeau from being removed as leader of Canada by voting, by refusing to vote no confidence in the House. Justin Trudeau failed in the biggest job a prime minister has, to work for people, not the powerful, to focus on Canadians, not themselves. The Liberals don't deserve another chance. That's why the NDP will vote to bring this government down and give Canadians a chance to vote for a government who will work for them. No matter who is leading the Liberal Party, the government's time is up. We will put forward a clear motion of non-confidence in the next sitting of the House of Commons, which won't be until maybe late January now. If Justin Trudeau doesn't prorogue or suspend Parliament, he could do for 2-3 months. In short, Jagmeet Singh is getting his pension. He's getting his pension. This is the same guy, by the way. I just made a video showing where he's talking about how he's just so tired of seeing older white men failing upwards. Jagmeet should not be talking about anybody failing upwards, but also maybe as a leader of a national party, you shouldn't be an outright blatant bigot. How about that? That would be interesting. For a guy who's constantly going on about how everything is racist and hate, he seems to be fairly full of it himself. Interesting. Is it leftist hypocrisy? I don't know. All right. What did Pierre Poilievre say to this letter? He said, and Pierre Poilievre is tearing it up right now. I mean, he's really solidifying himself as the choice. I expect the polls to get even more lopsided in his favor. And in fact, they have. In fact, we should pull up a poll too. Let's take a look at what 338 has right now. Hold on a second.
Fact check.
Okay. Let's see if 338 is updated, because I have seen a poll. Yeah, so this one isn't the most up to date. This one is 5 days old. The newest polling that I've seen, not from them, has the Liberals down, I think, at 20%. I think it was, or was it even 19%, tied with the NDP? That's a 21-point lead right there for the Conservatives. 338 Canada odds of outcome. Conservative Party of Canada majority, which majority would mean in a parliamentary system. If you're not watching in Canada, or if you don't have a parliamentary system where you're watching, you would have enough seats that you don't need cooperation of any other parties in the country. You can just do what you want. The odds of that, greater than 99%. So that's pretty good. But Pierre Poilievre says this: now that Parliament is closed and there is no chance to introduce any motion for months until after you get your pension. After you get your pension. He had an opportunity to vote no non-confidence 11 days ago. But if he'd done that, we'd already be in an election right now, and pension bye-bye. Or very likely pension bye-bye. You did the same stunt in September, claiming you'd no longer prop Trudeau up. Then you went back on your word and voted 8 times against an election and for your boss, Trudeau. Just 11 days ago, you voted against a no confidence motion filled with your own words. This was a stroke of genius by the Conservatives. They actually took Jagmeet Singh's words about Trudeau, and every day he's bashing Trudeau in the media, bashing him in the media. Well, they took his words and then used those in the non-confidence motion so that Jagmeet Singh would have to vote against his own words. He'd have to vote against what he himself said. And he did. And he did. Pension. Hey, it's a lot of money. You know, if you add it up over the years, it's lots of money. Had you voted the other way, well, just 11 days ago, you voted against a non-confidence motion filled with your own words. Had you voted the other way, we'd be almost halfway through the election now. Only common sense Conservatives can and will replace this costly NDP liberal clown show. Axe the tax election now. And none of this has helped Jagmeet Singh, by the way, right? They haven't taken a bunch of liberal voters. They're all going to the Conservatives. This hasn't helped them at all. They're going to be in a worse position after the next election than they were when he took over. So, you know, there's speculation on what he was doing. I think he might just be an idiot. And I think that he, by the way, he's a champagne socialist, Jagmeet Singh, right? So he likes fancy cars, expensive suits, and $14,000 Rolexes. And he's got some money, right? Champagne socialist. Yeah, and he's been propping up Trudeau right up until the point where he could finally say, yes, I'll vote non-confidence and we can trigger an election after I get my pension. Just to be safe. I mean, hey, you don't want to lose out on your pension, right? No socialist wants to do that. No champagne socialist wants to pass up on free money from the government that he doesn't even actually need. All right, so all right, so now the newest thing. All right, so the plot thickens. All right, so we got to wait till Parliament comes back. Trudeau may prorogue the Parliament, suspend it, right, in another desperate attempt to remain in power. It looks like he has no intention of resigning. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll resign this weekend. Who knows? Maybe he'll resign on Christmas Day. Wouldn't that be perfect? That would be the greatest gift of all. But I don't think so. And I'm also not even convinced that Jagmeet Singh will actually honor what he's saying about a non-confidence vote and triggering an election. I'm not convinced. I mean, maybe Trudeau offers him some little bullshit thing that he can say, oh, actually, I used it as a negotiating tactic and I got this nothing thing that will never happen. But it sounds kind of vaguely nice. But in any case, Pierre Poilievre said this. He's taking control of the situation. I have written the Governor General confirming that the Prime Minister has lost the confidence of the House and that Parliament must be recalled to hold a vote before the end of the year on triggering an axe the tax election. I am asking the NDP leader to match his actions to his word and likewise send a letter to Her Excellency asking for the same. So he's written a letter to the Governor General asking for her to recall Parliament so that then a no confidence vote can be held before the end of the year, which would be the best, right? The sooner we can get rid of Trudeau, the better. This would be the best thing for all Canadians. Will this work? No idea. Maybe it will. I mean, 70% of Canadians at least want Trudeau gone. 70% of the Parliament wants Trudeau gone, right? So he does not have the confidence of 70% of the Parliament. That's kind of a big deal. So, of course, here we have a dingbat Liberal MP, Ottawa Centre. And this is just what they do. For someone who has been a career politician for 20 years, Poilievre ought to know the Governor General has no power to recall the House. This is as absurd as the convoy protesters. They love to bring up the convoy protesters. They think that wins them some points. I am sorry, it does not. Dingbat. Convoy protesters calling on the Governor General and the Senate to fire the Prime Minister and somehow form a new government. Well, he's calling on the Governor General to recall Parliament so there can be a no confidence motion. Let's see. But is this true? So it's a Liberal MP, must be telling the truth, right? Huh. He must know his stuff. Is that true? That the Governor General has no power to recall the House. Is that true? Spoiler alert, I think you guys already know. Let's see, I asked Grok here. Yes, the Governor General of Canada has the power to recall the House of Commons. This is typically done through the issuance of a royal proclamation, often on the advice of the Prime Minister, to convene Parliament for a new session or end a recess. However, this power is exercised in accordance with constitutional conventions and is usually not used unilaterally without such advice, but it can be done, typically done with the Prime Minister, but doesn't need to be. All right. So, yeah, the Governor General can. So, will the Governor General? I don't know. Maybe, probably not, frankly, right? But he's just wrong there. It can be done. It can do it. The Governor General can do that, but this is what they do. They just immediately jump out with bullshit. I mean, you could say it's unlikely, but no power, just not true. Just not true. Okay. What else have we got here? So the question of proroguing Parliament. I mean, it's such a chaotic mess in Canada right now, right? But proroguing means suspending Parliament. Nothing gets done. I mean, on one hand, it's good because Trudeau can't pass any of his bullshit, his insane, his dystopian, his 1984 censorship legislation. And that would be good because also if he prorogues it, if he prorogues Parliament, all of his legislation goes out. All starts from scratch again. All done. That includes Bill C-63, the insane Online Censorship Act. They call it the Online Harms Act. Actually, it's appropriate because it's going to cause a lot of harms online, but also in real life for people who dare to accurately describe reality. That's the thing the modern left is most afraid of. People accurately describing reality. That's why they try and change the definition of every word. But if he prorogues Parliament, that's gone, and it ain't coming back. You know, I'm talking about the Bill C-63, the one that would set up the human rights tribunals where just any anonymous person in Canada could just call up the Human Rights Commission, have the Human Rights Commission just take it over, pay all of the bills, pay for all of the lawyers, send you to a Human Rights Tribunal where you're going to be found guilty of whatever it is. It's not a real court. It's a kangaroo court. You don't even have to be a lawyer or a judge to preside over it. You just have to be an expert in human rights, whatever the fuck that means these days. Oh, yeah, preemptive, there's pre-crime in Bill C-63. This is how dystopian this goddamn bill is that Trudeau is trying to pass. Right? It's got pre-crime. It's like out of a science fiction movie. A judge can say, well, I think you might do a hate at some point. I'm expecting you to do a hate online at some point. Of course, totally in the eye of the beholder, the hate, right? It really just means disagreeing with far left ideology. But I might decide that yeah, I think you're going to do a hate, some sort of hate in the future. That means now you're under 12 months house arrest. Don't like that, we'll send you to prison. Oh, there's also all kinds of other restrictions on your freedom. You like having a beer after work? Not anymore. Oh yeah, life in prison for hate speech too. Life in prison for hate speech. So, you know. But that's all gone. If Trudeau prorogues Parliament, that's all gone. That would be a fantastic thing. So that would be a real plus, I would say. Let's see. Here's Mark Miller, liberal. Let's see what he has to say here. He's talking about the governor general here, writing to the governor general, trying to get the governor general to order Parliament back.
Well, Pierre Poilievre is pulling another one of his convoy moves. They tried that going to the governor general.
They're really going hard on the whole convoy thing here. They really think that's going to make some sort of a difference for them. It's amazing.
And tried to turn some weird trick that somehow gets Pierre Poilievre where he needs to be. So it's another shtick. Is he going to bring donuts and coffee to the governor general at the same time with his convoy people? I mean, this is ridiculous. So these are games. We have to be serious and make sure that we're focusing on the next 60 days.
Even if you're going to pro?
Well, Pierre.
This is the best they've got. This is the best. What is even the point? Why didn't he just walk out, shrug his shoulders, and go, yeah. You guys know. I mean, what am I going to say? Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, we should just get out of here. Nobody likes us. Like, there's nobody. I could leave this building right now, and just nobody likes me. Maybe 1 in 5 people totally despise me. But even the people that don't despise me, probably 95% of them don't really like me. Why bother? Why bother with this? Why bother with this nonsense? There's no future in it. There's nothing in this. Why not just tell the truth? Everybody knows what's going on. It's a clown show. The Canadian government right now is a clown car. He's one of the clowns that's been jammed into it. Everybody knows what's happening. Everybody knows you're going to go down with a catastrophic loss. There's no way around this. There's no way. Look at this. Look. Odds of a Conservative Party of Canada majority greater than 99%. Greater than 99%. That's the polling. We're looking at a quite possibly a historic win for the Conservatives. His party is going down in flames. What's the point? What's the point of coming out with these snarky, oh, yeah, well, I think there's still some people that don't like the convoy people. I guess I'll mention that again. It's not like, people have like problems or anything caused by our government or anything like that. Let's just say, oh, yeah, you didn't like those. Remember those convoy guys? They were bad, right? Weren't they bad? Those freedom people? They're bad. Freedom's bad. Freedom's so bad. Elect us again and we'll censor you. Elect us again and you'll never be able to speak your mind again. I don't know, it's just weird at this point. It's just like, give it up. You're done. You're done. It's over. The buck you will. He thinks he is funny and clever. He's not. He's deflecting from the fact he is a feckless loser who is running a portfolio into the ground and is basically unemployable without Trudeau. Well, that's something for him to be concerned about, I would say. All right. Do we have anything else here? Hold on. From Chris Pavlovsky, who's the CEO of and founder of Rumble. He's Canadian, by the way. They moved down to Florida because just obviously, right? Obviously. I mean, if they'd stayed in Canada, probably Trudeau would have sent, what's left of the Canadian military to like blow up the building or something. He says Canada is about to be great again. NDP is bringing the government down. Trudeau will be out. Pierre Poilievre will be in. Couldn't be a better day for platforms like Rumble and X in the North. Well, Trudeau absolutely would like to destroy. I mean, he's just passing internet censorship legislation after internet censorship legislation, right? You had the Streaming Act. You had the News Act, which means that Canadians can't get news on Facebook anymore. And I made long videos on all of those, by the way. Now you got Bill C-63, which is with the pre-crime and the finding, get anonymous complaints with bounties, essentially. So somebody can anonymously complain about something you said literally 20 years ago or 15 years ago, whatever. A long time ago, whenever social media started. So we could go back, and if you haven't removed it, well, you could have. They can sue you. The government will pay for them to sue you. That person has no risk in this whatsoever. Doesn't even have to be around. They just make the complaint. Government spends a fortune screwing you over in a kangaroo court called a human rights tribunal, which will find you guilty. They can award up to $20,000 to the anonymous person. You'll never know who it was, and they will, plus $50,000 to the government, because they got to get their hand in your pocket too. Pre-crime, life in prison for hate speech, all lunacy, all stuff in the eye of the beholder as well. And whose eye is it? Whose eye does who is the beholder? It's a far leftist lunatic. That's right. That's who owns the eye that's going to be looking at you. A far leftist ideologue. So anyway, Chris Pavlovsky's happy because he cares about free speech, right? That said, Jugmeat says he'll vote to bring the government down. Saying that and actually doing that are two different things. All right, let's watch Pierre here quickly.
Well, you're asking me on, look, what is their policy? They've doubled the debt, they doubled housing costs, they've given us the worst inflation in 40 years. They would have to do exactly the opposite of everything they've done to fix all the problems that they've caused. What I'm saying is, let's axe the carbon tax to bring down gas, heat, and groceries rather than quadrupling the tax to 61 cents a liter. I would work with her on axing the carbon tax. It's
been a consistent message. This is before Chrystia Freeland stepped down, but it's been this consistent message, which is a sane one. The carbon taxes are insane. They increase costs at every level of production, including even just driving to the store to get the products that have been taxed into the ground by the Trudeau government. Let's see. Okay. Let's take a quick break to take a look at the chat. And what do we got going on here? I know what you guys really want, though. And I think we got to do it right now. If you have a dog, we've all been there. Our pup goes from full of energy to sick and miserable in an instant, and at the worst times. Plus, Trudeau wants to give it a sex change operation, for God's sakes. What the hell? What's wrong with that guy? Then we're calling vets in the middle of the night or on weekends, trying to find a clinic that will take us in. It's a terrible way to manage your dog's health, not to mention your stress levels and your monthly budget. That's why people are getting the Pet Emergency Kit by Positive. That's Positive. That's P-A-W, PAW, Positive, P-A-W-S-I-T-I-V-E. See what they did there? It's awesome. It contains critical medications and supplies that can not only keep you out of the veterinary office, but may even save your dog's life. Their kits contain critical medications like activated charcoal, styptic powder, and more. It might save your dog's life. That's important. Head over to positive.com. That's positive.com and use code STUDIO to get 15% off your pet emergency kit. If your dog's not doing well, it'll be weak, it'll be easier for communists to convince it to be a commie, and you don't want a communist dog. Communist dogs are the worst. You want good, patriotic, capitalist dogs, and you can get that with positive.com and use the code STUDIO. Use that code. I felt like I was stretching it, forcing it a bit with the anti-commie hate and the positive in the pet ad. I felt like I was forcing it a little bit. Well, Rosie says, great enthusiasm, can hear the smiles. 10 out of 10. Well, thank you, Rosie. Cobra gave me a 9.8 out of 10. It's better than I thought. Nevada said, get that commie hate in there. Get that commie hate. I did. I felt like I forced it a little bit there, though. Well, Izzy says 10 out of 10 for good commie hate. I'd have to give it a 10.5 if it wasn't for the lack of coffee. I know. I'm sorry. We'll get the coffee going. I'm sure they'll give me a coffee at some point. Let's see. Jesse says, positively a commie hate. Love it. Love it. Well, thank you. Raider Streamer says, positive. Better than my old Yeller health plan. That's the saddest health plan of all. Commie hate fit well. 10 out of 10. Nevada says 9.7 out of 10. Loved the commie hate. Well, okay. I felt like I was forcing it a bit, but you guys like it. All right. We'll keep going with it. All right. What else were you guys saying about the let's see. Well, Nevada did something very good. Just hit the like button. Very nice. Everybody should do that right now. Let's see. All right. Well, we'll move on here. We'll move on. Well, Radio Streamer makes a good point. Commies won't buy health meds for their puppy. Don't be a commie. That's a great point. Great point there. Yeah, don't be a commie. Jesse says, sex change on animals? No way. Commie hate. That's what Trudeau wants to do. I mean, he hasn't said as much, but you can assume. All right. Spambot Father says 9 out of 10, but focus 8.5 out of 10 on the commie hate. Not quite enough commie hate for Spambot there, I'm afraid. All right. Well, I'm sorry about that. Let's check out one more here. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut out the YouTube part of the stream. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, we always start on Rumble and YouTube at the same time, but we only do the first hour on YouTube because there's just all the censorship stuff, and it becomes a pain in the ass after I'm finished. If I do an hour, it's not too bad. I can, I save spicy stuff for later. But it just ends up being a problem if I do go too long on YouTube. So I value you. You should know that you're loved here. It's just that it's the platform that sucks. So unfortunately, we have to cut off the YouTube portion of this. Now, why don't you join us over on Rumble? We got actually lots of people there and the chat's really busy. So go there and then go in the chat and introduce yourself. Everybody's super friendly. I believe that I have the best chat on the internet. So just go ahead and do that now. Go to the Rumble app. It's so easy. But anyway, we got to go. Otherwise, I will see you on Sunday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Please join us on Rumble. There we go. Can you